Okay, we're gonna have to do a second one. And it's preparing, let me see. It's preparing to go live in a minute. Okay, there we go. We're back on.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that with the premium Zoom, I thought that I had longer. I don't know what.
These bastards. No, they stop.
Right, like I mean, they do like the monthly payment thing, but I'll have to check. I'll check afterwards. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. I guess we could do like 30 to an hour if you have time. If not, we can.
I got plenty of time. I'm like I said, I'm literally not doing anything else. I'm here with you. We here.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna send out. Oh, somebody's already watching.
Awesome.
I'm gonna send it out again because this is like the second link.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I'll do the same for sure.
And if you need to take a break and grab something.
Yeah, no, I'm good. We in here.
Awesome. Part 2. Because we couldn't shut up.
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
Part 2.
Part 2. Okay, so if you're feeling called to play something, let me know. Because like, you know, we got free time here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I can give examples of like a couple of songs or something like that. Songs that kind of influenced me in my way. I would say I think I guess I'll have a piano sound on here too. But yeah, like I said, Tribe Called Quest. I love playing like Tribe Called Quest joints for sure. Let's see. Now I have to turn up this treble a little bit. Dang, it's all the way up. I might take the lows down. So the thing about musical influence I spoke about, like classical and just all these things, jazz, and it all ends up being a part of what I play. So you might hear a little bit of any kind of influence per song. So I guess being part of our being the jazzsoulmetal experience, so to speak. I mean, it's literally everywhere. So another song I like playing a lot is a song I love playing for whatever reason, because it's like the first song that really got me into metal. Seeing Metallica perform the song One live really is like one of the things that solidified my path as a So even in something like that,
wow,
I feel like a lot of the classical influence, like in jazz influence, like kind of melting into like the rock. So it's like I can't escape any of it. So but I do some of it together. There's a release that I did. Actually, my first ever solo song. So I've done all this time, like the last maybe decade and a half or so, is I've been a session musician, which is basically somebody that just basically goes into the studio and is hired to play piano or whatever other instruments for people's albums. So that's what I've done for a while. And I still do it a lot. But I would say especially, that's what I've done. And about actually right before the pandemic, like December of 2019, I was like, well, actually it was like maybe before then, there was an album by this group called Grave Robber. They're like a horror punk band, but they have like some religious themes sometimes. They do a lot of Misfits covers also, whatever. Really cool band, Grave Robber, shout out to y'all. But they did an acoustic album and asked a bunch of bands to cover songs of theirs. So I chose a song called Altered States. And it's the first song ever with my band, my one-man band, Jazz Soul Metal Experience. So I recorded every instrument, like, drums, bass, keyboards, and did all the vocals, which ranged from really soft to like death metal, like in an acoustic song. There is a guitarist friend of mine named Joe Shirett, and he recorded the acoustic guitar for the song. I'm not a guitarist, but yeah, he kicked butt on this song, and I appreciate him. So it's me and him. Like, so I'm playing everything else, singing everything, and that was my first ever singles. That was 2019. Like I said before then, I was just totally just writing for people and doing session work. And also people would call me and still do, like a lot of times when people come in town and, they'll ask me to do stuff for live concerts or even locals. I've done a bunch of stuff locally where I've been a keyboardist for, events. I just did one a few days ago. I'm doing one next week, and they're kicking my butt because it's a lot of music, but it's okay though. That concert was like more neo soul R&B. This concert coming up is traditional jazz. In the studio this week, I'll be doing death metal. So there it is. It's like all coming together. Like it's like, it never fails. I can't wait to like throw some hip hop in there. I actually am on the side. I'm using Fiverr, and I've hooked up with a couple of producers via Fiverr. And I'm gonna have one producer remake a beat of mine that I did years ago that there's some vocals on, but I can't find the original file. So I'm gonna have him remake that. But the other two producers, like I got one producer I'm gonna work on a lo-fi album with. Another producer, we're just gonna do like like trap beats. So like there's no shortage of work, and there's no shortage of stuff to do. But it just all works together for me. And I think that honestly, I'm not a master of metal. I'm not a master of jazz by any means. Like, I was just talking to somebody last night. I'm like, I have friends that are in these industries, like that kill R&B, that kill hip hop, that kill jazz, like some of the best. I know like super players to kill metal. My strength is that I do all of them. Not that I excel in any of them.
That literally was my next question. Like, what strengths do you have that you believe makes you a great musician? And literally, there it is.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's definitely what it is that I can walk into any of those situations and play that music. And I think one of the biggest things I've done for the music community here is to introduce them to like the different styles of music. So like the metal guys, I actually introduced some of them to gospel music. And in fact, there's a few metal guys that I've actually invited to my church to play for like services and stuff. And I've just told the church people, I'm bringing my friends in here. Don't be saying nothing to them. These are my friends, and they've been.
Oh, that's awesome!
Like, and don't be like trying to hand them like Bibles on the side either. Just
right.
just appreciate the moment. If somebody wants to like learn more, that's cool. Also, if you want to make some positive changes, like there's literally people in the metal community, like some of my friends that have come to me, like if they're having problems, like, hey, you seem to have a positive attitude about things, and like what is it about your relationship to like religion or God or whatever that makes your life like what it is? and you know, I may have some kind of answer for them or whatever. But you know, just also just, you know, how do I stay positive or whatever? You know, it becomes an interesting thing. I don't always stay positive. Like I said, I've had some negative experiences too, but for the most part, you know, it has been pretty positive, especially these last few years. But yeah, so like I said, people, you know, they may say stuff from time to time, but it's really just all about community. And like I said, I do hate it when people try to use these opportunities, especially to like down people. So this, like, even though I play for churches and even other events, I very rarely have conformed to like the style of dress. I'm still like alternative no matter what.
I feel it.
So like the first time I directed the choir here, I directed the choir with a Cannibal Corpse shirt on, for example. You know, and
hey, with the album logos on too.
Yeah, it was actually I almost wore the shirt today. That was like 10 years ago.
That's cool.
But actually, it's so funny because I actually gained some weight and I just lost the weight. You know that
congratulations.
So, yeah, so now I can fit the shirt again. So I almost wore it today for historic purposes. But there's some pictures somewhere of me on the internet with me wearing that Cannibal Corpse shirt, and it's really like a bloody chainsaw and the Cannibal Corpse logo. And I think it has something on the back too, like Real Death Metal Sense, whatever, year 1988 or whatever. But you know, it's that's the first shirt I wore, and I kind of like told them, you know, this is how I am, this is who I am, and
that's what's up, yo.
like if you all have a problem with it, because they're kind of like an older crowd, you know, they have some young people here, but they have an older crowd. But I'm just like, yo, like if you have a problem with the way I dress or the way I act or whatever, then please like look somewhere else for another year. You know, exactly. Because you know, it's kind of like Martin Luther King said. Martin Luther King, you know, when he talked about people being judged by the content of their character. He said like rather than the color of their skin, but for me it goes deeper than that. It goes, you know, who you're in a relationship with, you know, you know, whether you know, let's see what else, how you dress, you know, whether you have tattoos or piercings, or you know, saying whether you know, like you know, just whatever your persuasion is, and you know, the whatever path you carry in life. It's like the biggest thing about jobs is like, can I do the job that I'm hired to do? Like that's the biggest thing. And can I like not be a jerk while doing that job?
Exactly.
Like that to me is the biggest criteria that it should be for jobs. And I think that I know that coming in as an alternative to this particular place that has been so traditionally probably against that, and setting an example has been positive. Because for me, my biggest thing was if I invite my friends, like for example, my friends that are in death metal bands, you know, or whatever, to the church, like to play music or just like, hey, I'm doing something. So for example, once I did a presentation for a church anniversary where I brought in a youth band, like a band from a high school. And, you know, I invited some people to that. You know, I did this really big presentation, like with strings and, you know, this band and stuff. It was, you know, just a real huge presentation. So with that, like I said, some people came in that weren't necessarily regular churchgoers, and you know, they almost just had to be okay with that. And I just felt like if y'all can't accept me, even though I'm an employee, I'm in front. Like if y'all can't accept me as an alternative, then you won't accept the people that I bring in here. You know, whether they're gay or whether they're, you know, whether they're alternative or whether they're whatever. You know, and I would never want to work for an organization that would turn people away. I don't care if it's Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's the bank, you know, whatever. It's all the same. Like, you know, if I work for an organization, I need you to be able to be tolerant and be kind to people, no matter whether you agree with them or whatever. You know, I understand as an alternative that, you know, we're just a little weirder than the rest of other people. We don't really fit into normal societal I guess, norms and categories or
Yeah.
whatever. And of course, you know, the alternatives are questioning, like, is, you know, corporate life really normal?
No, it's
You
not.
know, exactly.
It's not that. What do they call it? The white tie? I mean, the what is it? The blue collar?
Mhm.
The white tie. The blue collar lifestyle, I guess, like that was constructed, I feel, to make robots out of humans. So to me, I don't think that's normal at all. And I've heard tons of people, you know, they are themselves.
Mhm.
I completely agreed with everything you said. Growing up, it was, I mean, I was in a major religion,
Yeah.
also known as cult. And I
Well, I
was
want to talk to
told,
you. I want to talk to you. Remind me to talk to you about that more offline, especially if you don't want to talk
oh,
about
of course,
it.
of
I want to
course.
talk to you about that because I'm interested in that because I may have some similar experiences and I've been meaning to do this like forever. So I'm just making a note of that.
Perfect timing. Let me go ahead and write that down. I'm
Yes,
gonna write
we
your
may need a whole
name in
show
the
on
word
that.
cult discussion.
Yes, we may need a whole show on that. Honestly, even from both. The thing is, of course, we have the beauty of it is we have like similar experiences and we also come with different perspectives, you know what I'm saying? Because I still work in a church and I'm still a Christian, but at the same time, it's like, and what's funny is I actually spoke 2 days ago to the church, like via Zoom. Like they have like a Zoom service right now. They're going back in church in 2 weeks as far as in-person
Oh,
service.
cool.
But I spoke to them Wednesday about did like a lot of these very things that we're talking about how people, like a lot of times Christians, not just Christians, but like just conservatives, like in like political conservatives, a lot of times that's tied together, of course, but somehow, especially I've just observed these last few years, especially, it seems like conservatives and, you know, there's a lot of people that are trying to push their agendas in politics tend to focus on what they hate
Mm, that makes
instead of,
sense. And they don't even understand it.
nope.
It's truly they hate
Mhm.
because when you're like pushing people away and not trying to really understand life from their perspective, then you're just kind of going into it with a certain color. What do they call it? The rose colored.
Yeah. Stained glass windows are they're looking at it from like a lens that's definitely, you know,
Yeah.
there's definitely certain lenses that different I guess different persuasions, whether it be religious or whether it be, you know, whatever. There's various lenses you look at life through, even with alternatives and even with metalheads or hip hop heads, you know, or people that embrace certain cultures without looking outside of that. And I
Yeah.
think that's why it's important for us, people like us, to look at various cultures, you know, the things that we've talked about so far, so that we can understand, like, outside of just, you know, like if I'm just anime all day, every day, you know, then, you know, that's a cool experience, but it's like, you know, what else is there outside of that? Or if I'm just, even if I'm just music all day, you know, if I'm just hip hop, you know, then there's a danger, like almost immediately, to look down on everybody else. And I think I especially see that like in the rock community, you know, like I saw a lot of commentary on the Super Bowl from rock, you know, people in rock, and it was pretty disgusting actually. So yeah, there's such a danger in any you know, any type of thing that you adapt to that can become cult like, you know. So yeah, so being careful to always, like you said, understand the next person is always key. So during my little sermon and speech or whatever the other, on Wednesday, you know, like I said, I did talk about that, and I definitely talked about the conservative, a lot of conservative responses to the Super Bowl halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, as Christians, like there's something, you know, this almost feels preachy for a second, so excuse me, but there's something called the fruit of the spirit, so to speak. And it's crazy because like the principle is that when people see you and people like experience you as a person, if
Mm-hmm.
you're like supposed to be spiritual, according to the Bible, the traits that you have are these are love,
Mm-hmm.
joy, peace, temperance, and it's a few others. And it's like a lot of times when you meet people that are with these religious persuasions, it's like the exact opposite of that. And it's like, where did people go wrong? So I consider myself a conservative, but for me, conservatism is really based on the principles of love, joy, and peace, and like understanding. So when I see people doing things other than that and calling it conservative, it just feels like everything has been hijacked, like somewhere along.
Everything has been hijacked.
And I think that I really blame it on white supremacy and American Christianity in politics, because
and
somehow they had to find a way to justify enslaving Black people and treating Black people crazy, bringing them over from Africa, and still look like they were good religious people. So therefore, you have something like the Constitution, which is super revered, and the Bill of Rights and these, all these laws that they made. But like right in the Constitution, they're saying men are created equal, and of course, men probably mostly meant white men.
Which it is.
And then you see like these laws that subjugate women and subjugate slaves, and say the slaves like 3/5 of a person. That's how they're going to do it when it talks about voting, but that's also how they're going to be treated. And we know the founding fathers, who are so revered, we're supposed to learn such good things and think such good things about them. And we know that they owned slaves and stuff. So
they owned Black people and made them slaves.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, they did this to save face, obviously. And you go through hundreds of years, and then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out why a religion is supposed to be founded on love and peace and joy, goodness and temperance, is defined now by like patriotism. Like, where the hell?
Judgmental, like extreme.
Yeah, the founder of Christianity said, "Judge not, lest you not be judged." And I think that the biggest thing that Jesus says that really just gets me every time is that he said, the way that you judge others is the way that you're going to be judged, ultimately. So it's like the way that you treat people is, you're asking for that karma to come back on yourself at some point. So you wonder why like these rich people are committing suicide, for example.
True.
You wonder why these people are so miserable. We've seen so much of it lately, like in Hollywood and things like that. And, or like with Jeffrey Epstein and his situation and stuff. R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people had sympathy for him, but he's literally being judged and being treated in the same way that he treated people. And I know that like sometimes it seems like some of the bad people and some of the evil people are getting away with things, but I think that
it does.
That principle that Jesus said, it's not just a Christian thing. Obviously, karma, that whole thing, it's not just a Christian thing. It's just a spiritual principle overall. And not that I'm not wishing like bad things on anybody that did anything wrong, per se. But I know that, I don't even have to retaliate against people. I'm not going to retaliate against anybody per se, unless now if somebody's like my face, what I'm saying, if they trying to scrap, then I'm gonna pick up a weapon, or we gonna scrap.
We got to scrap.
we gonna get it on if that happens. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like people just saying stuff about me or whatever, or attempting to like defame me or treat me any kind of way. I know that I gotta keep it moving.
Yep.
And those people will stay stuck. Like if their whole mindset is like treating people like that, then that's the kind of mentality that I cannot move forward with. So either I'm gonna stay stuck right there and be miserable, or I'm gonna move forward, and that'd be my best revenge anyways. It's moving forward from that.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I look at religion. So I know a lot of people, because of the rep that religion has gotten, because of all the things I just mentioned, I know that people may look at something like me working at a church and be like, is that contradictory or whatever? But, honestly, first of all, of course, it's my life and I'm going to do what I do.
Yes.
Also, you know, at the same time, just like with this church and me saying that if I come in here, you know, the way I am, for example, the way I'm right now, um, you know, y'all gonna have to hire me as is because I'm not gonna change, you know, and you're gonna have to judge who I am by my actions. And that's the same way I feel about like even the alternative community, you know, because I'm in so many different like communities, because there are so many aspects and facets to who I am, you know. Ultimately, it's all about who I am as a person, like how I treat people, like am I a decent person overall? And, you know, so it really goes both ways. So, you know, I think that so far with the interactions I've had with, you know, people, they've been overwhelmingly positive. So,
that's what's up. I do want to ask you.
Yeah.
We did talk about this briefly before we got cut off on the last one.
Yeah, let's keep going.
So the one celebrity's death, well, not really celebrity, but like they're a musician. So they don't have to be a celebrity, but which one really affected you the most?
I'll tell you what. I was pretty young when these two deaths happened, but I discovered their music right when they died.
Oh no.
And that was Stevie Ray Vaughan and Thomas Whitfield. They died like the same year. And you know, I was hardly even in the music at the time, but I had just like kind of heard their music, and I'm like, you know, one day when I grow up, I'll, you know, be able to fly out somewhere and see these people in concert or something. And that never happened because they died like so young.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but I will say that in everything I do, you'll hear those kind of influences. Also, there's another death too, Chick Corea, who died recently actually. He's like one of the most influential jazz pianists. And, you know, I know a lot of my friends actually did meet him, but yeah, he died last year. I think it was last year. Very just sad because he was just an amazing pianist. So yeah, that deeply affected me also.
Okay. Do you listen to reggae at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Do you know Midnight?
Let's see. Do I know No, I don't. I'm not sure.
The lead singer of Midnight. It's like an old. I knew something was up. First of all, you gotta okay. This is literally, you gotta check them out for real.
I'm gonna check them out.
They're spelled is Midnite without the G. Well, like the regular way to spell it without all that, but the G and the H. But when he died, I felt like I lost an uncle or a guidance mentor, because his music is from the earth. He is from the earth. He speaks on how pretty much Black people are the original beings.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
spoke on the value of your body. And as a woman, as a Black woman, hearing that being told to me was very refreshing, because as you know, a lot of Black women in music, especially the ones that are pushed the most in mainstream, they're telling me to display myself in a way that personally I just don't feel comfortable with. I'm gonna be 100. Like, I love cosplay. I love being online. I love makeup, but I got kids. Like, I got kids. I'm somebody's mama. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got brothers, I got family. I personally feel empowered when I hear the message that's being said with their music. But when he died, I cried for like 2 hours straight, and I just listened to his music. And I had some people call me because they knew how much I felt about him. It was different. It wasn't a musician, it was a family member. So I was really interested in kind of hearing if you had like an experience like that.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think. There's so many musicians that
what about Prince?
Huh? Oh, you know what? I will say this. I remember. Thank you for reminding me of that, because that was a crazy time.
Yeah.
Even Michael Jackson died was crazy, but Prince died. I definitely. So what's funny is I know a couple of his band members, and I had actually hung out with a couple of his band members from here to there, and like right before he died, we had just set up a concert like with one of the bands I was playing for to do a concert with one of his Revolution band members, this guy named Dez Dickerson. So Dez was with Prince in the early years. He was actually in Purple Rain. But what happened is he actually quit the Revolution like right before they started filming Purple Rain. But because like religious convictions, he had some religious convictions, so to speak, and decided to just do away with that. But him and Prince were still so cool that even though he quit the band, I think they just worked out an agreement where he would appear in the movie as part of a rival band. So that was wild. So he did appear in Purple Rain as part of a rival band to the Revolution, and there's that. So after that, dude started like a record company. Like he started doing solo music and producing other people, mostly religious stuff. Once Prince like kind of slowed down with the debauchery, they became or they got a little closer. But yeah, so like I said, we had a concert scheduled, and then Prince died, of course, and we still had that concert in the books. So it was very fresh in everybody's mind when we did the concert. I think we did Purple Rain, and it was a very emotional moment for sure. Like I don't think I've like cried over like anybody per se, like musicians. I barely cried out, it's the metal heart,
I feel that.
But that Prince was that's a good one, because like I said, I was really hoping to meet him. He actually had come to Kentucky. Like recently before then, he was working with a group called Third Eye Girl. And the drummer for Third Eye Girl is from Kentucky. And definitely, actually from Louisville. So yeah, she, I knew some of her best friends, I'll put it like that. And I remember him coming to this place called the Palace in the city. And I think he had to do 2 shows because the first one sold out like the night that they went on sale. But yeah, like I said, I got so close, but alas, it wasn't in the cards. So I'll just say, I guess for me, like at this point, I do have some people that I do want to meet. Some of them are kind of close to death, like Tony Bennett. He's been going through some things lately. It's always been a dream of mine to meet Tony Bennett, because when I started getting into jazz, now, Tony Bennett always been old to us. That's crazy to say, but Tony Bennett he's like in the 90s, and he's just been such a such a legend. And like I said, I just always wanted to meet him, because that might have been the first, like as I started growing up, as I was a teenager and starting to discover jazz and stuff. I met this lady at a music store. I was in an R&B group, and like we were just teenagers, just trying to be Jodeci, trying to be like Drew Hill, trying to be something. We just knew who was the next Boyz II Men, or whoever. We just knew it. So we in this music store, and this woman comes in, and she's like, "I really like what you're playing." So she actually gave me her number, and I called her, and she actually had me start playing for her jazz parties. Like she would have parties, and she loves jazz.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she would have me start playing for these parties. So the first artist I looked up to have some music to play for these parties was Tony Bennett. So I discovered his like MTV Unplugged concert and some other stuff. So he does a lot of jazz standards. So I learned a whole lot of jazz standards, and that has come in so handy through the years, because next week, the concert I'm doing next week is all jazz standards. So It's a great thing to know as a musician. But yeah, he's like I said, so there's definitely a few people I definitely want to meet. He's one of them. Herbie Hancock, I want to meet him. So I'm not like wishing anything on any of them. I need them to be around for a few more years, you know, until I get to the place where I actually can go find him and actually, you know, even if it's virtual. You know, this is interesting. I'm just thinking right now, this keyboard is being kind of going out of tune. So if it went out of tune, I was going to show you how I put it back in tune, but it hasn't gone out of tune yet. So I guess that's cool. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question. Let's keep it. I'll play.
So the next question, pretty much would be in regards to, say, if like somebody at home, including myself, wants to like support you with Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, even, I think.
Yeah.
How would we be able to send you support, and also the information about the volunteer project that y'all are doing? How would we be able to reach you on that? Because I want to put it in both videos, really.
All right, cool. So let's see. Let me find out. I'm gonna look on AMP's site. So the biggest thing is I will always support AMP for sure. And I'll just say I'll be doing more with them again soon. Right now, my friends have been doing it, but I will always shout them out just because I just believe in what they're doing so much. But I would say that, and there's another organization I got to shout out to in a minute. I'll do that. Hold on, let me see. AMPed. I'm looking for their stuff. I'll post that in the chat. But I would say for me, jazz, soul, metal, everything.
Jazz, soul, metal, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I think I'm going to make another Twitter account just because my Twitter account, like everything right now is a big hub of everything. I will say that I have a couple of Facebook pages, and I've been trying to make one more about, like, you know, rock people and alternatives, and then the other one more for family and friends. I got a couple of Facebook, you know, band pages or whatever, the Jazz Soul Metal Experience. Like, kind of look up Jazz Soul Metal and everything, whether it be IG, Twitter, whatever. But like I said, I think I'll be trying to streamline some stuff pretty soon too, just because I want to be able to reach, you know, with each organization, like the people that it's meant to be reached, you know.
Jazz Soul Metal for Venmo too, by the way.
Let's see, I don't have Venmo, or you named another one, but I need to get
PayPal.
Yeah, I have PayPal and Cash App. So for PayPal, it's like jazzsoulmetal@yahoo.com. That's my email address, and of course, like just send me a mail there too. And for Cash App, it's Jazz Soul Metal also. So yeah, everything Jazz Soul Metal. It actually was my Twitter handle first and foremost. And hey, what's up, Doc? So the co-workers right there, he's hanging out. So yeah, it started as a Twitter handle like years ago, and it was so fitting that I just kind of kept using it for stuff. So when I put out my first single in August, I did it under the name of Jazz Soul Metal Experience. That's my main Facebook band page also. It's the Jazz Soul Metal Experience. Like I said, it's a one-man band. I released that single I talked about earlier called Altered States with that name. And I did an EP, a 2-song EP in August under that name also. So yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, I'm putting your Cash App in my phone as a connection. And we'll to link with you. I think you have to connect with the person. And then I'm going to post that information at the bottom of this live as well as the other one.
I can't wait to do this for you too. It's going to be great.
And then I put all of your other stuff on there too, like your links and stuff. Yeah. So anything you want to play to close us out?
I'm going to do a big medley of stuff. I don't even know what it's going to be yet, but I'm going to probably start with a jazz standard because then I'll probably go with like some Jill Scott. It's going to be a little bit of everywhere. I got to think of a metal song I can play though. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a metal song that I like know. Most of the stuff that I actually know how to play is like Metallica type of stuff, just because like I listened to so much growing up. I know there's some other stuff I can probably play too, but whatever I think of these next couple minutes. So yeah, I'll probably talk through some of this too. But
okay.
Giant Steps is a big jazz standard. Charlie Parker, he may have written it or whatever. He's a guy. He had a great solo saxophone career, but also played with Miles Davis for quite a while, and he wrote so many songs. You talk about jazz standards. Oh my God, like he had a bunch of them. But this is like one of the more difficult ones because of all the changes, a lot of changes in this song, and it stumps a lot of musicians. But that's also one of the reasons I love playing it, just because, yeah, it's just cool. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm also just gonna go over here for a second, cut off this snare. Been hearing it ringing the whole time. Just for sonic.
What that is? A snare? You said?
Yeah, it's a snare drum. I'll show it to you.
Okay. I don't even know.
I wish there was a whole drum set in here. If everything was in here, then I would play it.
Okay.
This is the snare drum. That's right. I just cut the snare part off, so that's why it sounds more like percussion. All right, so let me get back over here.
If y'all have questions, let me know. I see y'all in the viewers. Ask any questions.
Somebody had a question. So here's Giant Steps a little bit. It's I'll do it slow and I'll do a little bit fast. So that's like the melody. It's like real complicated melody, especially with the chords that go under it. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah. And then on top of that, like people swing it. Now, of course, as a pianist, I can't play like all the parts, but I'm gonna do what I can.
Oh shoot! That was so cool.
I want to play that song ever again in my life. No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I need to brush up on my jazz chops for real. I've been like thinking about doing that some more. Okay, so Jill Scott or D'Angelo.
Okay, cool.
Not what I can play by them. Such big influences. Find a like little road sound. That's not the one. Category search. All right. Here's a favorite. Way by Joe Scott. Gravitated a lot towards like that.
Wow.
Like mid '90s to early 2000s, neo soul. You know, I love that stuff. You know, I absolutely love it. You know, anything about Erykah Badu, of course. You know, like all that stuff. You see D'Angelo. He has a really cool song on his like anything D'Angelo does is like really cool. But there's a song on his Black Messiah album called Back to the Way It Was. And I think I'm probably gonna perform that joint in a couple of months just because it's such a great song. But there's like a section of that song that just really gets me every time. Here it goes. So anyway, moving on to another style. Yo, Stevie Wonder is another favorite. I gotta do some Stevie a little bit, just snippets. One of my favorite songs by him. I'm trying to think what album it's on. I think it's on Fulfilling This First Finale, which is like my favorite. So many great songs on there. Dang, I almost want to go back to this.
I muted myself so your sound could be more like clear, by the way.
Okay, that's cool. So a couple of songs, they won't go when I go. It's like got some classical influence to it. I'm gonna play a little bit of that. I messed up. course, there's. I hate playing this song. I've played this song like hundreds of times at this point. This is like the typical Stevie song. All right, next Stevie song. This is like one of my favorites. Yeah, so I don't know, all kind of stuff.
That's beautiful. That sounds like fairy music for some reason.
Yeah, the roads. It gotta be the roads.
That's beautiful.
You know what? I might do a like maybe 1 minute 30-second or 2 minute medley of songs I wrote. I'm not gonna be able to name them all just because I'm gonna be going so fast, but I've written hundreds of songs. Many of them are released. I'm gonna try to. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what I'm about to play, but I'm gonna play parts of songs that have actually been released by artists that I actually wrote.
Okay.
We're gonna go from there. Let's see. Where am I gonna start at? I'm gonna start with this. See another song. song was called Strong by Adrian Archie. The song I played before that is called, dang, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's for the band Our Black Love. So these are bands that I've either made up or played for. This next song is just, I'm going to play a string part for a song called Feels Good. And this is a song I released and I'm going to re-release with my production part. So I just love this part, so that's what I'm playing. Yeah, so that's just a string part for a song. It's actually like an R&B song. Love it.
That reminds me of The Legend of Zelda. I'm so sorry.
Nice. No, that's cool. I love how, like, songs, they remind you of different things.
It really did. I was just like, oh, it's time for me to descend.
That's what's up. So let's see. What's it? Piano song. This song right here. It's a death metal song. It starts off with this string part. It's a real slow, grueling song. But it starts off like a lot of my songs start off with these classical interludes, then they just go like super heavy. So here's one of them that'll be out soon.
Black vampires having a blood sacrifice dinner. Like,
yo, the song is so brutal. So it starts off the string, and then it has the piano part, and then it goes into this. I mean, it's so brutal. Like I did a demo for it, but I'm actually gonna do properly. And I tell you, this song is like super heavy. It's slow, but it's yeah.
That's what's up.
Your description is perfect, and I was debating what the lyrics are gonna be on it. I just know it's gonna be something pretty evil and brutal. I mean, I think that yeah, it's gonna be something interesting. But
that's freaking cool.
all of that. So the crazy thing, like all this is a part of me. Like I said, I'm not a master of any of them, but I do quite a bit of it.
That's what's up. First and foremost, I'm very honored to have had you on this space.
I'm honored to be.
I'm just like, I'm gonna like send my brother your stuff because he was into music, and oh my gosh, like this is freaking cool. This is awesome. I want to be able to put everything down in the description box again. Like I said, if there's anything else that you need for me, need for my platform, let me know. You have my contact information. Just let me know.
And I'll tell you, like I said, I extend the same to you. Like if there's any way, I think that obviously we're like in a lot of the same communities and stuff like that, but I will definitely be very proactive with promoting stuff. Whatever platform I have, what you're doing, I think that what you're doing is so important.
Yes.
Especially to our community. And
yes,
like I said, I can't wait to like talk to you about your experiences. You know, we're gonna talk about this religion thing offline first, but we'll probably you know, also like and just like what, you know, just what makes you who you are, and you know, what your passions are. Like I want to know about that, and I want others to know about that too. So, you know, we're gonna get into that.
We got work to do. I'm scheduling some stuff for the rest of this month, but we will cross paths obviously. I'm gonna be like, I'm putting a note of this in my to-do notebook. And like I said, I'm going to send some support over sometime next week, maybe like Wednesday or Thursday. And I mean, I'm really like fortunate to have like been here to, first of all, observe you in your natural element, like, and just kind of get the opportunity to, first of all, be inspired. Like, my kids, they used to bang on stuff, especially my youngest. So I'm taking that as, okay, she needs lessons in drums. I have 2 guitars downstairs that are in horrible condition due to me being 16 and not being able to know how to string them or play them. So I got work to do on my end over here with my little kids and possibly myself. I mean, this is like really inspirational, first and foremost. So I hope we can get together again, which I know for a fact we will. Wait, are you muted? Hold on.
You should not be muted. All right.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, go ahead.
It's been an amazing time for sure.
Awesome.
So blessings to you for sure.
And blessings to you too.
I'll play a little bit of a song and then you can just like cut it off while I'm playing. You know, like you hear like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and they'd be like. That band was also very
Wait, do you have a mic on?
Nah, let's see. Let me cut this up. Hello?
I don't know why I can't hear you all of a sudden.
Oh, no.
Okay, say something.
Hey.
Okay, it's so weird. I guess it could be my computer, but.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit. I can hear the piano. Perfect. But like when you start talking, it's like muffled. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Okay, there you are.
Yeah, but so like, yeah, I remember being in college and like Mr. Rogers, like, I was asleep one day and I had it on like one of those, you know, public stations or whatever, and I heard this band killing it. And I was like, who the hell is this? And it ended up being Mr. Rogers, like the Mr. Rogers band. So every day from that point on for like a couple of weeks, I would tune into Mr. Rogers, like right when he was about to go off to hear this band. They were instilling jazz into people at a young age. That band, Johnny Costa is the piano player. I went and found his music. That dude is unreal, and his band is unreal. They killed on this show, and I had no idea growing up, but they were also a big influence. But yeah, like I said, so yeah, I'm gonna sign off the show. Like I said, I'll start playing a little something. I'm actually gonna close out with like a little bit of a gospel song, but it's the from that guy James Hall was talking about earlier, so it's gonna be a little bit different than the normal gospel stuff. You'll hear that. It's a lot more, just a lot more weird. So I'll close out with that. The song is called The Blood. It has like a couple of parts to it, so it's like an anthem type of thing. So this classical lesson kind of paid off. Because it's so much of what I do.
Wow. That was like the perfect like ending. Wow. That's awesome. I really, really appreciate you for being here. Again, we are going to cross paths again, and I'm excited about actually working with you in the future.
It's going down, y'all. Kids in the music.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go and get your description box ready for, because I just found your Cash App. So I'm going to go do all that, and then we will talk again.